This is Sirisha, Associate Professor, Government City College, Nayapur, Hyderabad. Going to consignment accounts. The accounting treatment of consignment accounts. Consignment is not a sale. The consignment transactions cannot be recorded in sales book. Therefore, it is necessary to record these transactions in journal proper or general journal. Consignor as well as consignee records the consignment transactions in their books of accounts as per their requirement. So here in consignment, the consignor sends goods to the consignee either at cost price or at a higher price known as invoice price. The accounting procedure used under cost price method is a little bit different from that used under invoice price method. So we will be discussing both the methods one by one. Let us start with the cost price. Coming to the journal entries in the books of consignor. So how to record the journal entries in the cost price method. So here when a consignor is using the cost price method for the accounting procedure for his consignment business, he is making the following journal entries in his books. So these are the entries in the books of the consignor. So first entry, when the consignor sends the goods to the consignee, the entry will be consignment account debtor to goods sent to consignment. Here the entry will be first when the consignor is sending the goods to the consignee, the entry will be consignment account debtor to goods sent on consignment account. Being the narration will be being goods sent on consignment. Coming to the next entry, that is when consignor incurs consignment related expenses. If the expenses are paid immediately by the consignor, the entry will be consignment account debtor to cash or bank account. Most of the times we have to transfer the entry to the bank account only. If at all he pays in cash, then it will be transferred to cash account. So being the expenses paid by the consignor, narration will be being the expenses paid by the consignor. And when the consignor incurs consignment expenses, they are not paid immediately. When these expenses are not paid immediately, then the entry will be consignment account debtor to accounts payable for expenses account. So these are the two entries. Coming to the third entry, when the consignee sends some money as advance or any advance received from consignee as a security deposit, then if the consignee is sending the cash or a bank draft to the consignor as a mode of advance payment as a security deposit, then the entry will be cash or bank account debtor to consignee's account, being the advance received against consignment. So this will be the entry. And if at all the consignee accepts a bill of exchange instead of sending cash or bank draft, then the entry will be bills receivable account debtor to consignee account. Okay. So this is how we have to post the entry if at all consignee is accepting the bill of exchange instead of sending cash or bank draft. So now coming to the fourth entry is to record the sales made by consignee. So if at all the consignee has made the sales, then the entry would be consignee account debtor to consignment account. Here, consignee account debtor to consignment account. When the goods have been sold by the consignee, entry will be consignee's account debtor to consignment account. The narration would be being goods sale proceeds as per account sales received. So this would be the entry. Now coming to the next entry. What is the entry? To record the sales made by the consignee. So for the sales made by the consignee, the same entry. So here the entry would be consignee's account debtor to consignment account. And the next entry to record the commission charged by the consignee. So for the sales he has made, he will be receiving certain amount of money as commission. So when expenses and commission is to be recorded, then the entry would be consignee's account debtor to consignment account. Here the commission is consignee is entitled for an amount of commission, then the entry would be consignee's account debtor to consignment account. Entry to record the commission charged by consignee. Here the commission has been charged by the consignee. Then the entry would be consignment account debtor to consignee account. Now coming to the, if at all expenses and the commission are being incurred by the consignee, then the entry would be consignment account debtor to consignee's account, being the expenses incurred by the consignee and the commission payable on gross sales proceeds. This would be the narration. Now to record the remittances received from consignee, the entry would be cash or bank account debtor to consignee's account. Here the cash has been remitted or remittances received by the consignee. Cash has been received from the consignee. The entry would be bank account or cash account debtor to consignee account, being the value of amount received from consignee, being the cash remittance done by the consignee. Coming to the next entry to close the consignment account. What would be the entry to close the consignment account? So in case consignment account shows the profit, entry would be consignment account debtor to profit or loss on consignment account. If on consignment the consignor receives the profit, then the entry would be consignment account debtor to profit and loss account. And in case consignment shows a loss, it would be the reverse of the entry, that is profit and loss account debtor to consignment account. Now coming to the entry to close the goods sent on consignment account. So the goods sent on consignment account is closed at the end of the financial year by making one of the entries, that is, in case the consignor is a manufacturer of goods, then the entry would be transferred to the trading account, that is goods sent on consignment account debtor to trading account. In case the consignor is a wholesaler of goods, then the entry have to be transferred to purchase account, that is goods sent on consignment account debtor to purchase account. We have finished about the journal entries in the books of the consignor. Now coming to the ledger accounts in the books of the consignor. So what are all the ledger accounts have to be maintained in the books of the consignor? Here the consignor is Consignor is interested to know the exact profit or loss in respect of each consignment and the amount due by or due to each consignee separately. So here the consignor will be preparing to fulfill these needs. He will be preparing the following set of accounts, that is consignment account, consignee's account, goods sent on consignment account and consignment stock account. So these are the ledger accounts which have to be maintained by the consignor. Coming to the point of consignment account. So what do you mean by consignment account? Consignment account is nothing but it will be named after the place to where the consignment is sent. So the main purpose of the consignment account is to ascertain the profit or loss on a particular consignment. What is the profit or what is the loss on a particular consignment? To know such thing, the consignor will be preparing the consignment account. So this account is in the nature of special type of trading account. So this account is debited with the cost of goods sent on consignment as well as expenses incurred by the consignor and also consignee's expenses and commission. On the credit side of the consignment account, the sales proceeds as well as unsold stock value is to be posted and the balance of the consignment account, which represents the profit or loss made on the consignment, will be transferred to profit and loss accounts. So this is about the consignment account. Coming to the format of consignment account, see, to the debit side you will be giving the goods sent on consignment, the cost price, and then secondly, what are all the expenses incurred by consignor and expenses incurred by consignee, commission charged by consignee, and if at all any bad debts are there, so that bad debts to be posted to the debit side of the consignment account. And to the credit side of the consignment account, consignee's advance received and then consignee's cash sales and credit sales will be placed to the credit side, and what are all the goods sent on consignment, and if at all any goods sent on consignment is returned, that should be credited to the consignment account, and goods taken by the consignee for personal use also to be credited to the consignment account, and unsold stock, that is stock on consignment account, to be placed to the credit side of the consignment account, and the balance would be and if at all the balance comes to the credit side, it shows the loss on consignment. If the balance if the credits are more than the debits, then it will show the profit on consignment to the debit side of the consignment account. So this is the format of consignment account. Coming to now the second thing, what the ledger account maintained by the consignor is the consignee's account. So what is consignee's account? The purpose of this account is to know the amount due by or due to the consignee. So if at all any amount is due by the consignor or due to the consignor, that we will come to know by preparing the consignee's account. So this account is debited with sales proceeds of the consignment sales, and in the credit side of this account, advance paid by consignee will be shown, and consignee's expenses will be shown to the credit side, and commission to the credit side are to be posted, and the balance of the consignee's account represents the amount due by or due to the consignee. So this account will be closed soon after the settlement of the balance. If there is unsettled balance in consignee's account, it should be shown in the balance sheet of the consignor. So this is about the consignee's account. Coming to the goods sent on consignment account. So here goods sent on consignment account is a real account in nature. When goods are dispatched on consignment or sent on consignment, this account will be credited with the value of the goods sent. And if at all consignee returns the goods, this account will be debited with such value. And at the end of the accounting period, this account will be closed by transferring its balance to the trading account or purchase account simultaneously. So this is about the goods sent on consignment. Now coming to the consignee's account, how to prepare now we will go through the format of consignee's account. In the consignee's account, to the debit side, you have to post the sales proceeds, that is consignment account shows the sales proceeds made by the consignee, that will be debited to the consignee's account. And if at all goods have been returned, that also should be posted to the debit side of the consignee's account. Goods returned by the consignee to the consignor, that will come to the debit side of the consignee's personal account. And then coming to the credit side, to the credit side of the consignee's account, so whatever the advance have been paid to the consignor, if at all any advance have been paid to the consignor, that will be shown to the credit side of the consignee's account. And then any expenses and commission charged by the consignee will come to the credit side of the expenses which have been paid by the consignee, and commission charged by the consignee will be coming to the credit side of the consignee's account. And then comes net amount received from consignee. So the bank settlement of balance, what he has to be made, he is making to the consignor, that will be shown to the credit side of the consignee's account, and the balance would be coming to the credit side of the consignee's account. Now coming to the goods sent on consignment account, format shows that to the debit side of the goods sent on consignment account, you have to show the consignment account, which shows the goods goods returned by the consignee will come to the debit side of the goods sent on consignment account, and to the credit side, goods sent by the consignor to the consignee will come to the credit side of the goods sent on consignment account. And if at all any goods have been returned back to consignor, that will come to the debit side of the goods sent on consignment account, that is to consignment account. And the closing entry would be transferred to trading account if at all consignor is a manufacturer, and if the consignor is a wholesaler, then it has to be transferred to the purchase account. So in this way we will close the goods sent on consignment account by transferring the entry to the trading or purchase account. So this is all about the consignee's account and the goods sent on consignment account. Now coming to the last ledger account which should be prepared by the consignor is consignment stock account. So consignment stock account is nothing but consignee is unable to sell all the goods at the close of the accounting year of the consignor. So here the remaining unsold stock of the goods is known as the consignment stock. This unsold stock should be valued at cost of the goods, including proportionate non-recurring expenses. So here the value of unsold stock should be debited to the consignment stock account and credited to the consignment account. So here the balance of the consignment account is the balance of the consignment stock account is a current asset, appears in the asset side of the balance sheet. At the commencement of the next financial period, consignment stock will be transferred to the consignment account as a debit to enable the profit or loss on the sale of the remainder of the consignment to be determined. So how to value the unsold stock of on consignment, we'll see now. So here you see all the goods have not been sold, so it becomes necessary to value the unsold goods. So how to value the unsold stock on consignment? So stock which is lying in the hands of the consignee at the end of the accounting period have to be valued at cost or the market price, whichever is less. That in that way you have to calculate the unsold stock value. If all the goods are not sold by the consignee within the accounting period, then the unsold stock is brought into account by the consignee. The cost of unsold stock or closing stock should be valued at cost to the consignor plus proportionate non-recurring expenses incurred by the consignor have to be added. So non-recurring expenses, either it has been incurred by consignor or the consignee, have to be added to the cost of consignor, closing stock of consignor. Okay, so the unsold stock in the hands of the consignee should be valued on the cost price. The consignment stock account is an asset and will be shown in the balance sheet. So how to calculate for the calculation of value of unsold stock, you have to take the proportionate cost price and the proportionate direct expenses. That is, direct expenses are nothing but non-recurring expenses which have been incurred by the consignee and the consignor till the goods reach the go down of the consignee. So this is how we will be valuing the unsold stock at cost price. So here you see, first you will be taking the cost price of the goods consigned, and then to that you have to add the expenses incurred by the consignor, that is direct expenses. Non-recurring direct expenses are nothing but the non-recurring expenses, that is freight, carriage, insurance on goods dispatch, dock dues and export import duties, loading and unloading charges. These all things will come under the category of direct expenses, and some other direct expenses which have been incurred by the consignee also will be charged to this, will be added to this cost price of the goods consigned, that is unloading charges, landing charges, import duty, octroi, go down rent, etc. So these all things have to be taken and added to the cost price of the goods consumed. So in this way you will be doing the valuation of unsold stock at cost price. So cost of the unsold stock is equal to total cost divided by total quantity into unsold quantity. So this is how you will be calculating the value of unsold stock. So one more alternative method is the cost of stock implies the value at which goods are consigned by the consignor to the consignee. So cost of unsold stock is equal to cost of goods sold plus proportionate of all expenses divided by total quantity into unsold stocks. This is an alternate method, and the value of stock also includes all expenses incurred before bringing it into usable condition. Value of unsold stock is equal to cost price of closing stock plus proportionate non-recurring expenses. So this is the end of the class.